Jessica had always seen herself as smart, resourceful, and adaptable. Yet, there was one fear that clung to her, a fear that left her knees shaking and her voice quivering: public speaking. Her friends often called her the silent genius, and her contributions were typically confined to written reports or one-on-one conversations. Even in college, she managed to dodge every presentation requirement where possible. But her luck seemed to have run out when she landed a job at Peak Enterprises. Peak was a rapidly growing firm led by visionary thinkers, where every team member was expected to contribute ideas during weekly brainstorming sessions. And that meant speaking up in front of the entire team. Jessica's first session was a disaster. She felt her palms grow damp, her throat constrict, and her vision blur as soon as she was asked for her input. She managed to utter a few disjointed sentences before retreating to her seat, deflated and ashamed. Despite the overwhelming anxiety, Jessica realized she couldn't continue to sidestep this challenge and still aspire to grow in her career. Her first step was to acknowledge her fear. She spent hours researching techniques to overcome public speaking anxiety: deep breathing, visualization, and even seeking out a coach who specialized in helping professionals like her. Her coach, Mr. Langdon, was patient and wise. He encouraged her to start small, pushing her just enough to step out of her comfort zone without overwhelming her. They practiced speeches in front of a mirror, then progressed to small, friendly audiences. Mr. Langdon introduced a technique of visualizing her audience as friends eager to understand her ideas, rather than judges waiting to critique her. Slowly but surely, Jessica began to improve. Her sentences flowed better, her palms felt less sweaty, and the butterflies in her stomach became less aggressive. Weeks turned into months, and her improvement became noticeable even at Peak Enterprises. The real turning point came during a quarterly review meeting when the head of the department requested a volunteer to present a new project idea. Jessica felt a familiar twinge of anxiety, but she also knew how far she had come. She stood up, walked to the front of the room, and took a deep breath. Drawing on all the techniques she had learned, she delivered her thoughts with clarity and confidence. The room was silent for a moment and then erupted in applause. Her manager later told her that her presentation was one of the best he had seen in years. Jessica's journey wasn't just about conquering the fear of public speaking, it was about proving to herself that she could confront her deepest anxieties and emerge victorious.